I'm sincerely Sai. If you're following my YouTube, if you're subscribed to my YouTube, you'd know that. Either way, this video is a general tarot reading. I am strictly reading cards as they're depicted in front of me. Um, as if they're depicted behind me. No, really though. Reading cards. They're just cards. Hopefully, it helps somebody else with their current circumstances to get through life. You get some sort of realization, or um your some sort of epiphany happens, or anything of that nature. Hopefully, my readings could give some sort of assistance or boost for anybody that needs some sort of guidance, and hopefully, uh, you know, you get what you need from the video. One of the most difficult things on the list of things that um, I could do but have a difficult time initiating is openly talking with an audience. So we're we're gonna have a subject, talk through cards, and you know hear what is brought about. Also, these are divination cards here that I have set in front of me. So take what take what message you're needing for yourself. Leave whatever else doesn't pertain. It may be relevant at a different time. It may be relevant for a friend. Okay, so just yeah. Also, mind you, whether you belong to a spirituality, a culture, a religion, messages, or like the lessons, morals that are received through this reading could, like I said, relate to anything, anybody, or just be a common grounds for whatever. All right. So I will be shuffling and dealing the cards of Cosmic Insight, Tattoo, Tarot, and then seeing Angel Eye cards. All of these cards I ordered on a website called Temu. Some of you may have heard of it. Temu or whatever. Uh, since I looked last, they were discontinued. If they happen to be available again, I will put the links in the description of the video. Put the links. I also have some amulets that I have drawn randomly, so those will be revealed later on in the reading. If you're interested in seeing what amulets come about, I may honestly just reveal them after each deal of cards. Any sort of truth that should be revealed or could help in the current circumstances. Nice. Anyways, we had the two of cups, or sorry, two of coins fly out. The two of coins with another card. The knight of coins in reverse. Any other guiding messages from spirit? Anything we should know? Anything that needs to be revealed? The Hierophant. Okay, in reverse. The Knight of Coins and then the Two of Coins in reverse. So I've been getting with the Two of Coins. Sorry, the Hierophant and then the King, the Knight of Coins in reverse, along with the Two of Coins upright. So it could be like a back and forth, having to do with finances or having to do with the value of things, having to do with things you value or things that are treasured that might be causing some sort of like dual or some sort of like complex, um, or it could possibly be anything having to do with anything of value, maybe causing some sort of distortion or balance or unbalance in the scale of how you're maybe prioritizing um, whatever you're going through. And then we have the Knight of Coins and the Hierophant in reverse. So the thing about the Hierophant and the Knight of Coins, for one, the Knight of Coins is, I believe, a minor arcana, and then the Hierophant is a major arcana. The Knight of Coins, you could have, um, okay, so you're like immediate present or you're looking into a future where maybe you're guarding something that's luxurious or something that has accrued some sort of value towards you, or you're weighing your value, and guarding something having to do with, there's a guard, there's something that's defending your honor, there's something that maybe is um, going against your values or your personal morals, and that could be where the two of coins, um, that could explain the two of coins, where it's like you feel like there's one option or the other, and then it's kind of like they call it a stalemate, or a draw, or agree to disagree. You're like in the middle line, the balance. You have to find the balance, the medio, but like something that like kind of calms you, but also does suffice, or does, you know does the job that you're needing done, or for completion, or whatever, for the final result. And then the Hierophant in reverse. The thing with the Hierophant is like when you're thinking of like ranking, or you're thinking of like level, you're thinking of hierarchy, you're thinking of pecking order, the Hierophant could be represented as somebody who like has a specific task, has a specific let's say job role, that doesn't possibly, that maybe might not get it as much respect as they deserve, because their title isn't recognized as being a title that one should pay homage to, or respect, or um, give any sort of like attention, or consideration towards. Um, but it could also represent somebody who is in a chain of command, to where they're they're very much needed, and they're very much necessary for the role of what that person needs in, and kind of relies on, or a person that is necessary for somebody else's success, or victory in a certain situation, that doesn't really get the recognition of being that let's say missing puzzle piece, or that model for that specific level, right? All right, no, we're gonna this is really quick, so we're gonna jump into the Cosmic Insights deck. This has to do with like relationships. Like I said, it could be a specific subject, and it could be a person. There's Liar in reverse. Be careful of someone sneaky. So yeah, you could feel like there's somebody trying to outsmart you, or somebody trying to get you to like kind of like be submissive, forget about what you know, what you've learned to um appreciate about yourself or another person. They could be somebody trying to kind of get a rise out of you, or somebody who it's in their nature to like find out things about you without directly asking. We have pets upright, getting a new pet, giving a current pet more love, and air sign Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So they could be somebody who, honestly, I don't even think it has to do with signs. It could just be a person who is like swift like the wind, changes patterns every now and again. Sometimes it could be a cool breeze. Sometimes it could be very in your face, and just like pushing all the air everywhere. You're getting hair in your face, like you're like everything. It just kind of whirls around. Maybe it could be causing a lot of confusion in your world, or maybe you're like spun, being dizzy, because you just want, you're looking for some sort of answer, some sort of solace, but it seems like anything you turn your attention to might seem like it's a good idea until it isn't a good idea. It's a great idea until it's not. It's a horrible idea until you convince yourself that it is. So then now we're going to jump into the Angel Eye Tarot. Also, I will be extending this clip, so we can actually have a full reading. This is kind of a rushed reading, but TikTok only allows so much. So we got one card. I'll flip that over in a minute. If you notice, I'm only grabbing 3 cards per card deck. If you don't know how to say card, You know, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. But it does, but it doesn't. We only have 30 seconds, but we do have our three cards, and I will reveal them in 1 minute. And I think it's very urgent and like important that I say I don't consider myself a psychic or some sort of person who like is a magical being or anything like that. I'm literally strictly reading cards. That is what it is. If you're concerned that it's like devilish or some other stuff that it isn't, that's your objective opinion. I'm literally just reading cards. If it was a bicycle deck, if it was an Uno card deck, which I also have an Uno card deck up there, it's giant Uno, it wouldn't be a problem. But because it has depictions of something else, and I'm somebody reading the imagery that I see in front of me and just relaying a message, uh, sometimes others portray it as anything else. So I just felt like this was important and I should mention. The last three cards I'm going to show some pendants that I think could relate to the message. The only the only pendant I had in reverse when I chose was this pendant, and then we have this pendant. So like emerald, there's ruby, and then there's red. We have this pendant and this pendant. In case there's any inquiry, I did choose them at random. So if you think I just like sifted through it and was like, oh, that's pretty, I honestly just like grabbed whichever ones were free from where I had them stored, and that's the end of that. So, anyways, the power of intuition. So I think where that might be perplexing for your your circumstance is, should this be trusting? Should they be trustworthy? Is it possible for what's happening to actually be um, a beneficial pathway or journey or road on the journey that uh, that you're wanting for current circumstances? And then I have some names: Donnie, Laura, Zenny, Doreen, um, Ignacio, Evie and Ivy, Nishael, and then Kira, Shayna, Shabli, Rodrigo, Jaina. Did I say Mikael? I said Nishael and Mikael. Priscilla, Patty, Cheska. I think that was it. And then unity and oneness. Recognize that we are all interconnected, foster a sense of community. So you could also be perplexed with your community, maybe feeling involved, or maybe trying to sway the motion that you prefer being involved in your own way, or your option of involvement really might be where the challenge is, or your way of being involved seems as if it's like on a teeter totter, maybe unaccepted, or some individuals might say that uh, at the pace that you're going, it doesn't necessarily fit their standard or fit their imagery of what and where and how you should be, or your circumstances should appeal. It could also be that the success that is wavering really has potential to be beneficial for your best interest. However, where you're at, some individuals might uh, feel the need to push, um, whether you're accepting of how how intense their pushing is, or coddling. Sometimes it could really be a complex thing. Maybe your sense of being patronized might be into question, or your sense of being shoved instead of pushed uh, might be the subject of interest in a lot of instances. Either way, individuals are relatable, and sometimes your best friends will push you off a cliff, and then when you're in court, they won't even say sorry. You know, it's crazy. I've seen a story like that. A girl, she was with her friends, and then one of them was like, "I'm gonna push you off the cliff," and it was literally like a cliff, like they were standing on a bridge, and then she pushed her off the bridge. She broke like I think 6 bones or something like that. Like her leg, the bones in her leg were shattered. Her friend ended up like actually serving jail time, I think, and then like the rest of the time was on parole. Just crazy. But yeah, that happened. And I was like, whoa. So maybe sometimes the little nudge individuals might be trying to place on your circumstance might seem like an urgent matter that sends off red alarms in your mind, and you're like, if you keep pushing, it's a detrimental situation. And honestly, or maybe for your best interest, your maybe someone who doesn't necessarily try to make things seem more urgent than they are, or maybe just uh, don't want to be a complainer because of your mental mindset or anything having to do with uh, the complexities of how you weigh your judgments or how you um, make your choices and decisions. And then for the last card, there's embracing change. Change is a natural part of life. Welcome it with open arms. So right, like I'm saying, there is a change that needs to happen. There's a change that needs completion or needs some sort of next step or next level, or even just maybe a small adjustment for your circumstances that maybe it's kind of difficult for you or your loved one or your friend or whatever subject of conversation. Um, Maybe that nudge is difficult for you as a person. It could also be that you're the person attempting to help a friend, and that friend, for some reason, doesn't want to take your advice, even if you're thinking that it might be great advice. Um, but they just aren't ready to put that into action. And then this is just for the fun of it. I just have some like little like fake play money here, because the meaning of the message with this is that some individuals will flaunt and fan the riches or the treasure or the value in another's face, thinking that that's the drive for an individual. However, that in itself could be seen, perceived any sort of way. Sometimes it could be seen as flaunting greed. Sometimes it could be seen as, you know, setting themselves up to have their accomplishments stolen from them. You know, it could also be, you know, just them showcasing the results of their hard work and their much input time. But either way, I think the most intriguing symbol for a lot of individuals is the value of things or the treasury of what they're doing or what they have yet to accomplish. And they might possibly just be very headstrong or very driven, motivated, or even just stingy with feeling a sense of accomplishment that they want to they're attempting to pour it onto others or show others what they're capable of achieving and things that are possible. But it could also be perceived as like, you know, zealous or maybe just too much or like shallow, sometimes egotistical. And for others it's like, yeah, awesome, like you deserve to roll around in the riches that you've received and the money that you've accumulated, the currency, anything of that nature. So hopefully these messages, the morals, the lessons that you received from this reading are helpful in your immediate future, or help or have helped solve a problem from the past, or a situation from the past, or maybe will give you some guidance for your present day. Thank you so much for joining me here, and